It's a fantastic time to start some real talk with your host that always keep things real, and that's no other person than Kike Lomatondao. Hey, Angie refused to give me the shekere of life. Okay, on your personal development and well-rounded knowledge is our priority. This means keeping you abreast with current issues, trending topics, and having discussions that affect your social economic life. In Nigeria, plastic surgery, especially the cosmetic side of it, has become even more popular as compared to a few years ago when it was not just rare in the country but also very expensive. It has become a little more affordable with procedures ranging from facelift, nose jobs, will I say liposuction, breast and butt lift to name a few. Recently, celebrity pastor and the head of House of Freedom, Pastor Tony Rappo, made a social media post about this. Paraphrasing his statement, he was of the opinion that the Bible did not condemn surgery. When it begins to cross the line that borders vanity and the main motive of the surgery is to become more sexually appealing or to fill a void caused by lack of self-esteem, then there is a problem. We have senior pastor Ituah Ighodalo. He is the senior pastor of Trinity House. So you've heard a lot. You've heard our topic of the day. So I think it's important for us to just go straight to the point. I think as a fellow clergy man, do you share his thoughts?
Yeah, to a large
Or his sentiments, so to speak.
to a large extent, I think Pastor Tony was spot on. He was quite right. Um, it is the motive that's the key to the surgery. It is the motive that is the key. Even in the Bible, Jesus helped a few people with their deformities. Okay, there was the woman with the issue of blood. In those days, you could say she had, or in today's language, you could say she had. Maybe Jesus did a hysterectomy for her spiritually, but she must have had maybe fibroids or something that wouldn't stop. There was also the woman with the withered hand. There was a man with a withered hand, and Jesus told him to stretch out his hand, and his hand became whole. That could be some form of surgery. Also, there was the woman who was bent double. She was probably a hunchback and bent double. And also, Jesus said, "Woman, thou art loose of thy infirmity," and the woman stood up straight and erect. So when you need a restoration to where you really should have been, okay, there's nothing wrong with going through a surgery. If you had a fire incident, your face got burnt or maligned, you had bone skin graft to repair and restore your face, definitely in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with it. But when this surgery is supposed to deceive or supposed to misrepresent or supposed to be attraction of the sexual kind, when the motive is purely sexual, then you are really at a borderline and you are really trying to, if you like, in my own opinion, mislead people into thinking you are what you are not. And that in itself can be a bit of a challenge.
Okay, thank you so much, Pastor. Pastor, can you please enlighten us? Can you tell us if there's a place in the Bible that says or that talks about plastic surgery or beauty enhancements?
Well, there are a few places in the Bible that talks about your outward appearance being of moderation. Okay. Places in the Bible that even they are discouraging of even makeup, and unnecessary beautification of one's person, There was a particular lady called Jezebel, the wife of Ahab, a great king in Israel. And one of her features was to stand in the mirror every day, make up her face, make up everything and all that and all that. And she's anytime when you talk about a Jezebelian spirit, even in modern day language, you are talking about the spirit of seduction, the spirit that controls other spirits, the spirit that devises evil against others. And the epitome of that is usually somebody who is over made up.
So, Pastor, are you saying that makeup, the Bible is against makeup?
Moderation.
Okay.
The key word is moderation. Okay. We should do all things in moderation. Okay. When your makeup is such that, I remember a friend of mine showed me the picture of his fiance. I said, "This is the party face," and I said, "This is the party face. Where's the normal face, the natural face?" When your makeup is such that, I mean,
there's no match between your real self
person.
Yeah, when the makeup is too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
And these days it's becoming a real epidemic.
It's true.
Like. You understand?
It's true.
There are people who carry their makeup artists everywhere.
Yes.
There are people who wake up and the first thing they want to do is to make up.
Yes, true.
Because they no longer feel okay. They feel exposed if they're not made up. And this is the problem.
I think it is actually the social media, if I'm correct, and the world that we live in today that have made it look as if women need those things to validate them.
They need to be careful. Yeah. Because you see, the Lord that made you in the first place, He knew why He made you.
Sure.
He knew the reason why He made you. He knew why He gave you the features that He gave you. And a lot of these things are actually in the mind. Okay. I heard Bishop Pastor Lukoya once saying that, why do we pay so much emphasis on the arrangement of the eyes, the nose, the mouth? Okay, it's just an arrangement of the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Okay, and beauty is really in the eye of the beholder. You know, I have seen a lot of ladies when we were younger looked really beautiful. The older they grew, the less beautiful they looked.
And we know that.
You understand?
We know that.
And I've seen ladies who, when we were younger, they didn't look beautiful at all. And today they look really super attractive. And it depends on who is looking, you know. If you look at a Chinese person, some of us can't really tell where the beauty lies because we are not of that mindset. And I'm sure they're looking at Africans will also be wondering where the beauty is. You understand? In some cultures, the thicker the lips, the more beautiful.
There's another question I'm urging to ask you. So Pastor Tony mentioned that it is more important to have a good self-esteem and work on what is on the inside rather than seek to fix what is on the outside. Can you educate us on this, or do you share the same point of view as regards to this?
More or less, yes. I mean, you come from the inside to the outside, you know, and it's really what's in your inside that's critical. What the Bible says, beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper as your soul prospers. You first of all have to minister to your soul. And when you minister to your soul, you find that a lot of the outward things are not that critical. They are really not that critical.
So there's another question that says that the Bible says we are made of His image. That is the image of God, after His likeness. And does this contradict the very thought of wanting to change something about your physical appearance?
The image the Bible is talking about is not the physical appearance as such.
Okay.
Although there's an analogy or there's a comparison in terms of physical appearance to what God is. We're talking about the spiritual presence of God. Okay. That's the image we're talking about. The ability. You see, what makes God God is three things. Okay. Number one, the ability to know good from evil.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And of all His creation, it is the human being that really, really knows good from evil. Most others live on instinct, okay, instinctive survival instinct, okay. So that's what makes God God. The second one is omnipresence, being everywhere at every time. And then the third is knowledge, super knowledge. So of all the three, the human being has two or maybe one and a half, okay. The ability to know good from evil, and the ability to acquire knowledge. Knowledge that can create, can develop, that can enhance, can change, that can transform. It's only the human being really that creates things. The microphone, the light, the bulb, the table, the chairs. You know, so God created to a certain level and then gave the human being that capacity to acquire knowledge, to do great things. The only thing that we don't have is the ability to be everywhere at the same time. And that's what limits us in our physical body.
All right. Is plastic surgery to be considered every time we feel there's something wrong with our bodies? And are we comfortable with it? That's one. I think two is, why do we still have people openly criticizing and condemning the process? I think I have an issue with that. I'm coming to my parents. At what point should a cosmetic surgery be considered? I think we have a call right now. Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Hello?
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from, please? Please, a minute.
Fofo
Okay.
from Legally here.
Okay, go ahead, please. What's your contribution today, and if you have any question for
just
Pastor?
a question.
Okay.
The question as a Christian that is bugging my mind
Okay.
about these trousers. Women are not allowed to put on trousers.
That women are not allowed to what?
To put on trousers.
Okay, to put on trousers. Okay.
Because it's been seen as a clothes for men.
Okay.
So I want to find out from the pastor, is really trousers a clothes for men? Because there are clothes for women which are trousers and men cannot put it on.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. So, Pastor, the caller said that he wants to know if trouser is it a cloth for what's it called now, men alone, because women still put on that clothes as well. What do you have to say to that?
That's a very, very good question, and sometimes a lot of us get a little bit doctrinal and we misunderstand and misinterpret what I think the meaning is.
Okay.
What the meaning is, a woman should not try to be like a man or pretend to be a man, and a man should not pretend to be a woman. Okay, and it's not really to talk about clothing per se, because in India trousers are feminine clothes and skirts are masculine clothes for some parts of India.
So, sir, with the likes of people coming out as gay or being bisexual, we've seen the likes of Bobrisky, who has come out, has done some surgeries and is now wearing females' clothes. What do you have to say to that?
Well, that's exactly what we're saying. A man should not try to be a woman.
Correct. Okay.
Either in terms of behavior, in terms of appearance, and in terms of attitude. Because God created a man. He did not make a mistake. Okay? And similarly, a man should not try to be a woman. God created a man, and he should not try to be a woman, and a woman should not try to be a man.
Okay.
God did not make a mistake.
Correct, sir. I agree with you.
He knew exactly what he was
doing.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, in terms of actual clothing now, you now begin to draw a line as to what clothing or what attitude or what appearance in what culture represents something feminine.
Okay.
You understand?
So we have a message from one of our callers. We said, good evening. Well, today's topic is quite sensitive for women, but personally, I don't see anything wrong in trying to look good and beautiful. However, when it's a procedure that will cause more harm than good, it's better to avoid it. It's good to have the spiritual view of it today with Pastor Ituah Ighodalo from Ayobami Okonlawo. Thank you so much, Ayobami, for your contribution today. We have another caller on the line. Oh yeah, hello. Where are you calling from? And what's the name, please?
Hello, good evening.
Yeah,
My
good
name
evening.
is Ben. I'm calling from Lekki.
Okay, thank you. What's your contribution for today?
Okay, two things. One, the Bible talks about the thing that enters a man's body is not what corrupts him, but what comes out of the person that corrupts him. So, as much as the pastor has said this, it's not about the outward appearance, but it's about the person you are inside.
Correct.
So if no matter how much work you do on your body, if your heart and your soul is not right, then you are as black as your soul, no matter how your outward appearance is.
So what's the question?
Not the question, it's the contribution.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. So, Pastor, at what point should a cosmetic surgery be considered?
When it will save life,
Okay.
when it will restore, okay, When it is required for medical reasons, okay, then it should be considered and engaged in. So, like I said before, if you're having a tumor or a growth or something that is threatening your life, okay, there's nothing wrong in taking it out and getting rid of it.
Sure.
Okay. If you're having a distension that's affecting your ambulation, your ability to sleep well, to do things properly, and so on, so nothing wrong in it. Okay. If you're having something that's a little bit extra and out of the way of your person, nothing wrong as far as I'm concerned. But if your main motive is to be sexual,
Appealing,
to ooze of sexuality all the time, almost on a professional basis,
okay,
then there's a challenge.
thank you so much, Pastor. I certainly enjoyed myself today, and your opinions and comments have been interesting to say the least. But Pastor, what are your final words in 1 minute on this?
In 1 minute, well, first of all, we've said that people should concentrate more on the inward appearance.
Okay.
People should focus on knowing this God and serving Him. People should have confidence in themselves, in the way God made them. And people should focus more on what God wants them to become rather than what they think people think of
The
them.
validation.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't need the validation of anybody because nobody created you. My God created you to achieve something. Pursue your purpose.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for joining us today in the studio. I think the final words for today would have been from Pastor Raffo when he said that even the most skilled plastic surgeons cannot turn back the hands of time. All the lift will eventually sag and age will reveal itself. I would say here that as much as we aim to look more beautiful, we've heard from our pastor, Pastor Ituah, that said that it is essential for you to look inward and look at your character as a person, which is much more important than the validation of your physical appearance. And I would say that it's have no limit or boundaries. Nothing is worth your life. And remember, no surgery can actually fix your self-esteem. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great day, and we will be back for some real talk next week, same time, same station. Bye.